Hey everyone, this is a water marbling tutorial for those of you that are ready to give up because it hasn't been working. One of the things that I noticed was that not using filtered room temperature water made this not work. I have hard water where I live, so I use filtered room temperature water and it seems to work better that way. The other thing is don't use anything that's too deep or too wide around. I don't know why that makes a difference, but it seems to make a difference to me. The other thing is do not use nail polish that is too thick or quick dry. The two brands that seem to be working the best for me are China Glaze and Sally Hansen Hard as Nails Extreme Wear Nail Color, or the Sheer French Color. I like a more subtle look. So in between each layer of my thicker colors, I put a drop of the sheer color, and that just kind of makes it a little less bright. I'm 30, not 13, so I want to do it a little more subtle. The other thing is make sure all of your tops are open. Doing it quickly is important. Otherwise, the outer layers are drying as you're putting the inner layers in. So, drop a drop in, drop my next drop in, and I was noticing in a lot of videos that people were making sure that it spread all the way out to the edges. I did not notice that made a difference. It's spreading all the way out to the edges of the bowl. But the bigger it spreads, the bigger your design can be. But for learning purposes, don't worry about that. About it spreading all the way out. It's not as imperative as it seems. Alright, now let's say you've done enough drops and it looks like a pretty bullseye and you're very excited because it finally is starting to look right, like I am. It looks like this, and you're ready to drag your toothpick through it. Let's say your outer edges aren't draggable because they're kind of dry. I just move in a little bit, no big deal, and just skip my outer edge. I'm kind of doing a flower petal technique because I think that looks pretty and it helps me to learn where placing your finger in the polish is going to make a difference on how it looks on your nail. Then I'm going to tape off my finger. And taping off your finger is really simple. Take a piece of tape and line it up, wrap it around your finger so the sides of your fingers are covered, but not the actual nail. And then take another piece of tape and just place it over the top, but not on the nail, just right up to it. Then I turn the bowl in whatever direction I'm looking to do it in, the design in. And I think that I want the flower petal to look like that, so I'm going to, you don't want to lightly place your finger in the water, you actually want to put it in the water. Make sure not to touch the bottom of the bowl, and do it evenly. If you don't do it evenly, then you're going to end up with an uneven design on your nail. You twirl a toothpick around in the water to pick up the excess. If you don't pick up the excess, then when you pull your finger out of the water, it looks kind of weird. And it's too goopy. If you happen to see any little pieces of stray polish sitting around in there, I go ahead and pick those up too. Then when you pick your nail up out of the water, you have a beautiful water marbled nail. Now, the other problem that I've noticed, and I haven't been able to figure out how to get rid of this problem, is that, I don't know if you can see it or not, but there's a couple of bubbles on my nail. And until I figure out how to make that not happen at all, what I do is I take a toothpick and I just pop the bubbles. And then I wet my finger and I tap where the bubble was, and it seems to perfectly fix whatever area was messed up with the bubbles. Then you're going to take your tape off. You want to be careful when you take the tape off that you don't touch your nail because it's still a little bit wet. And I do have a reason for taking the tape off when the nail is still wet, and that's because it makes it easier to use a toothpick to clean up the nail polish that did get outside of the tape. And you just use a toothpick, and it should, because it's water, because of the water, it should just pick right up. And then you do less cleaning up later. So there is my newly water marbled nail. There's my pattern. Like I said, I did kind of a flower petal pattern. I'll practice with more intricate ones later, but for now, this is just for you folks that have been trying to do the water marbling and have been ready to quit. And that's it. I hope it helped.